Join us now to talk about the battle for the White House, Super Tuesday, and tomorrow's State of the Union, a speech from President Biden. Congressman Khanna of California, whose district is in the heart of Silicon Valley. He is a Biden campaign surrogate, and this maybe opens the way for the two main candidates, Ro, but there's still talk about a third party, as you know. So I don't know. This could be.
You didn't announce yet, Joe.
This could be the opening that we're looking for. But you keep resisting to be at the top of the ticket. You want me there, and I don't think that's a good idea for anyone.
Joe, I'm waiting for you to make an announcement. I just appreciate my being a Democrat that you like, that we have a good back and forth. So I appreciate our
I know.
friendship.
I'm glad we have all these good feelings, because now you're going to get really mad at me for everything I'm getting ready to say. Number one, as a surrogate for the president, I think you have a lot of things on your plate. And I know you probably got some great answers for everything, but let me just talk to you about this New York Times poll and what you think it means. And I know polls are not necessarily indicative of they're not the end all be all. But if 40% of voters said that Trump's policies helped them personally, and that's double the number of people that said President Biden's policies helped. 43% say Biden's policies did the opposite and didn't help. Why? When you see GDP and the jobs numbers and the stock market, why are people still feeling that way? And I hope you're not going to say because they don't know any better and they're being fed the wrong stuff by the media.
No, I'm not going to say that. I think we've got a better job that we need to do on making the economic case. Look, it's been a hard few years. I mean, no one is going to deny that we had 3 years of inflation. And it's not like we have disinflation. I mean, yeah, the inflation number has come down, but for 3 years the prices went up. That means your groceries still cost a lot, your rent costs a lot, cost of living is high. People still feel the American dream is hard to reach. So we've got to say, well, why is our agenda better? There are three things I'd point out. We've got new factories that are being built in Ohio, new chips plants, new battery plants. We're going to bring manufacturing back. Number two, we're going to reduce costs by making child care cheaper and by making health care cheaper. And number three, we're going to raise wages on the minimum wage. But we got to make a contrast and make the case.
The other thing, Congressman, that I think is just, we hear about it again and again, and that is the number of people that worry about, even right now, there's some question as to whether the president has lost a step from a couple of years ago. And then you think about what it would be like next year, year after that, really 4 years down the road. And I know you saw the other poll that even Democrats, people that voted for him last time, 61% now feel that he's too old to do the job. How do you counter that?
Look, no candidate's perfect. I mean, you're not a 49ers fan. I mean, if you were at the top of the ticket, do I admit that age is an issue? Of course. I mean, would I rather not have two people running for president who are 81 and 78? Of course. But that's our choice. And we have to make age an asset. The president needs to say he has the experience, the statesmanship. But here's the most important thing. He has to, at the State of the Union, lay out a future vision for the country. Here's where America is going. Here's where you fit into that story. I mean, it's about who's going to have a better vision for the future.
I had a kind of an argument yesterday with Transportation Secretary Buttigieg, where we're going to hear that it's companies' fault, that it's not nothing that the government did with inflation, that it's price gouging. I know we're going to hear that tomorrow night. It's good. We did in the last State of the Union. All the blame is always pushed off somewhere else, and in this case, it's going to be to corporations for raising prices and gouging. And I think that's part of why the public just finally rolls their eyes at no one. The border. What do you tell me about the border, Ro? Are you going to tell me that it's Republicans' fault for not supporting that bill that would have let 5,000 people in? That wasn't really, an effective, probably not as effective as some people would want for the port. But for 3 years, there's been no attention paid to the border by the Biden administration.
I saw your exchange with Secretary Buttigieg, who I like and respect. Here's what I'm going to say. People are sick of parties blaming each other. I don't think they want to hear me come in and say it's all the Republicans' fault. They don't want other folks saying it's all the president's fault. They know there's a problem at the border, and you can't deny the facts. We know that there are a lot of people over the last few years who have been coming in without a process, and we know there's a lot of fentanyl that's coming in. There's someone in my district who lost a college-age kid to a fentanyl overdose at Berkeley. So these are real issues. The question is, what do we need to do? Here are 3 common-sense things we should do. First, have more Border Patrol agents and have better vetting of drugs coming in. Number 2, make sure you're processing as many people in countries outside America before they come in. And number 3, we've got to figure out the economics. So we've got these brutal sanctions on Venezuela. We've got no economic policy in a lot of these countries, and that's leading to some of the migrants coming here. So why can't we just figure out a bipartisan solution? No one looks good, Republicans or Democrats, on this issue.
That's probably true. Have we missed a lot of filing dead? I mean, maybe it's not even possible for us to because I'm listening to you, and we always seem to find some common ground, which I never see. I never see that. I don't see that in Washington anymore. And I know you see that Sinema's gone now, Manchin's gone. What is Washington going to look like, not just for the next 8 months, Congressman, but for the next 4 years? Do you have an optimistic viewpoint that you can share with me so I can look forward to that instead of dread?
I do, because we're still the greatest country in the world. Look, we've had Donald Trump and Joe Biden, and this country managed to have a better economic record than any other country in the world. It managed, despite the polarized situation, to develop vaccines that saved the world. And here's the reality. Look, I am a progressive Democrat. You know, I'm to your, clearly to your left, but more to the left, certainly, than some of the folks you mentioned. But I think the American people want folks to respect each other. Stop just coming on television and casting blame. Everything the Democrats do is right and everything the Republicans do is wrong. Try to listen and find compromise and common ground. I think it's more about temperament and putting the country first than ideology.